Most drivers believe that if an oil bottle says full synthetic, it must automatically be good for their engine. That belief has quietly destroyed more engines than bad fuel, missed oil changes, or even overheating. The truth is uncomfortable, but simple. Not all synthetic oils protect engines the same way, and some of them slowly cause damage that most drivers never notice until it's too late. Modern engines are under more stress than ever before. Turbochargers spin at over 100,000 RPM. Direct injection increases combustion pressure. Tighter tolerances reduce margin for error. And manufacturers push longer oil change intervals than engines can realistically handle in real-world driving. Under these conditions, oil is no longer just lubrication, it's structural protection. When oil fails, engines don't warn you, they just wear out. One of the biggest misconceptions is that synthetic oil is a single, unified product. It isn't. Synthetic oils are built from different base stocks and additive packages, and those differences completely determine how well an oil survives heat, pressure, and time. Two oils with the same viscosity rating can behave entirely differently once they're inside a running engine. Cheap synthetic oils often rely on heavily refined mineral base oils with minimal additive support. On paper, they meet the specification. In reality, they thin out faster, oxidize sooner, and lose their protective film under sustained load. That's when metal-to-metal contact begins. Not enough to cause immediate failure, but enough to accelerate wear on bearings, cam lobes, piston rings, and timing components. This is why engines don't usually fail suddenly, they die slowly. A little extra friction here, slight oil pressure loss there, gradual buildup of varnish and sludge that restricts oil flow. Over tens of thousands of miles, that damage compounds until the engine becomes noisy, burns oil, or loses compression. Before we get to the oils that actually protect engines, we need to talk about the 3 worst oil-related mistakes, because these are responsible for the majority of early engine failures mechanics see. The first engine-killing oil mistake is using cheap or low-quality synthetic oil for extended intervals. These oils are often advertised as full synthetic, but their additive packages are thin, and their resistance to heat breakdown is limited. They may survive short intervals, but once fuel dilution, moisture, and heat accumulate, the oil loses viscosity and its ability to suspend contaminants. Bearings begin to polish instead of float, timing chains stretch, and oil pressure drops just enough to cause long-term damage. The second mistake is misusing extended drain oils. Some high-quality oils are designed to last longer, but many drivers misunderstand what that means. Extended drain oils are not magic. They assume ideal driving conditions, regular oil level checks, and clean operating environments. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, cold starts, towing, and idling destroy oil far faster than mileage suggests. When drivers stretch oil change intervals without adjusting for real conditions, sludge begins to form. Oil passages narrow, and oil starvation occurs in places the pressure sensor can't detect. The third oil mistake that ruins engines is using the wrong viscosity, usually thicker than recommended. Many drivers believe thicker oil provides better protection, especially in high-mileage engines. In reality, thick oil flows slower during cold starts, which is when most engine wear occurs. Delayed oil flow means bearings and cam surfaces run dry for critical seconds. Over time, this repeated cold start starvation causes more damage than thin oil ever would. What makes these mistakes dangerous is that they don't cause immediate failure. The engine still runs, the oil light stays off, the driver assumes everything is fine. Meanwhile, wear accelerates silently. Another overlooked factor is oil filtration. Oil and filter function as a system. Even the best oil cannot protect an engine if the filter allows abrasive metal particles to circulate. Cheap filters often use low-quality media and weak bypass valves, allowing contaminants to grind away at internal surfaces. Mechanics who regularly tear down engines can tell almost immediately whether a vehicle used quality filtration or not. Fuel dilution is another silent threat, especially in modern direct injection engines. Fuel that slips past piston rings thins the oil, reducing viscosity and protection. Oils with weak base stocks lose film strength rapidly under dilution, leaving bearings exposed. This is one reason some engines fail early despite regular oil changes. The oil was never strong enough to begin with. By now, it should be clear that engine oil choice isn't about brand loyalty or marketing claims. It's about chemistry, stability, and how the oil behaves after thousands of heat cycles. Some oils collapse under stress, others barely change, and this brings us to the turning point. In Part 2, we'll break down the 10 best synthetic oils that mechanics trust to protect engines past 300,000 miles. We'll explain why they work, what separates them from average oils, and how to choose the right one for your driving style. Because once you understand what actually protects engines, you'll never look at oil bottles the same way. Now that you understand what slowly destroys engines, it's time to talk about what actually protects them. The difference between an engine that dies at 150,000 miles and one that quietly passes 300,000 often comes down to oil stability. How well the oil holds its viscosity, resists heat, and protects metal surfaces over time. The best synthetic oils don't rely on hype, they rely on chemistry. The oils that consistently protect engines share a few critical traits. First, they use high-quality synthetic base stocks that resist thinning under heat and pressure. Second, they contain balanced additive packages that control wear, prevent sludge, and keep contaminants suspended. And third, they maintain film strength during the most dangerous moments for an engine: cold starts, high load, and extended operation. Among the top-performing synthetic oils are formulations built on advanced PAO or gas-to-liquid base oils. These oils remain stable across a wide temperature range and show minimal viscosity loss even after long drain intervals. Engines running these oils typically exhibit lower bearing wear, cleaner piston rings, and reduced timing chain stretch over time. That stability is what allows engines to survive long after lesser oils have broken down. Another group of top oils excels because of their additive design. Anti-wear compounds protect cam lobes and lifters during boundary lubrication. Detergents prevent carbon and sludge from sticking to internal surfaces. Dispersants keep microscopic metal particles suspended so they can be captured by the oil filter instead of grinding through bearings. The key is balance. Oils overloaded with additives can cause deposits, while weak additive packages fail under stress. One important pattern that emerged is that the best oils don't always come from the most expensive bottle, but they do come from companies that invest heavily in formulation rather than marketing. These oils stay cleaner longer, resist oxidation, and maintain oil pressure even as mileage climbs. Engines running them often show minimal varnish even after years of use. Oil performance also depends heavily on how the vehicle is driven. Engines that see frequent short trips benefit from oils with strong detergent systems and resistance to fuel dilution. Highway-driven vehicles require oils that maintain viscosity over long operating periods without shearing. Turbocharged engines demand exceptional heat resistance and film strength, as turbo bearings are among the hottest components in the engine. The best oils adapt well across these conditions instead of excelling in only one. Another factor separating long-lasting engines from worn ones is oil filtration. High-quality oil paired with a cheap filter still leads to wear. Premium filters use dense media to trap fine particles while maintaining flow, and strong bypass valves to prevent unfiltered oil from circulating during cold starts. Mechanics who service high-mileage vehicles almost always recommend upgrading filtration alongside oil choice. Oil level monitoring is another habit shared by engines that last. Even the best oil cannot protect an engine that runs low. Modern engines often consume small amounts of oil, especially under highway driving or high RPM. Running even a quart low reduces oil pressure, cooling ability, and protection margin. Drivers who check oil regularly avoid the gradual starvation that kills bearings long before warning lights activate. Consistency is the final and most important factor. Engines that last forever aren't maintained emotionally or impulsively. They use the same viscosity, the same quality oil, the same filter type, and predictable change intervals. Constantly switching oils, chasing new marketing claims, or stretching intervals introduces unnecessary risk. Stability and repeatability matter far more than brand hopping. Here's the hard truth mechanics see every day. Most engines that fail early didn't use terrible oil. They used decent oil incorrectly. Wrong viscosity, long intervals, low oil levels, cheap filters, or severe driving conditions ignored for too long. The oils that protect engines for life are only effective when combined with correct habits. When oil is chosen intelligently and managed properly, engines don't just survive, they age slowly. Bearings stay smooth, rings stay free, oil pressure remains stable, compression stays strong, and the engine keeps running long after most vehicles are retired. The takeaway is simple. There is no miracle oil, but there are oils that consistently perform better under real-world stress. Choose one built on quality base stocks, supported by a balanced additive package, matched to your driving style, and paired with good filtration. Then use it consistently and responsibly. Do that, and oil stops being a maintenance chore. It becomes engine insurance. Because engines don't fail randomly, they fail based on how well they were protected mile after mile. And now you know exactly how to protect yours.